Hi everyone, it's Ciao from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 1 of the 2022 Countdown to Christmas series, and we're going to be creating this Home for the Holidays card. I'm using a lot of Honeybee products, including the stamp set Home, as well as the Fireplace Scene Builder dies, the Coordinating Fireplace Details stencil, as well as the Shiplap stencil that is also from Honeybee Stamps, and then the Farmhouse Tree Builder set, which is also from Honeybee. So I'm taking some of the pieces from that Fireplace Scene Builder die and just lining them up on my plates for the Bitty Buzz Cutter, which is also from Honeybee Stamps. And I love this die cutter for small dies. It cuts out beautifully. So I'm going to be inking as well as using Copic markers to add color and detail to some of these die pieces. So I'm going to run the fireplace, the logs, and the fire through the Bitty Buzz Cutter and cut those out. And then we will also be cutting out the middle piece and the wood piece. And I cut that out because I don't think you guys need to see me cut out more of more of the die pieces. It was the same exact process. So now I'm lining up the Shiplap Stencil onto a piece of white cardstock, which measures, I believe this one is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to be using some Weathered Wood Distress ink. I didn't have it in Distress Oxide, I don't think, so that's why I used the ink. And I'm just adding some to my brush and then running it over the lines. This is one that you could use pixie spray on, but because of the way I'm applying the ink, I'm just running over the lines. I'm going from left to right and right to left. It didn't mess the stencil up. It didn't move the stencil. So you see, I wanted like a shiplap background to be behind the fireplace and then a wooden floor. So now I'm taking that fireplace detail stencil and lining it up over the fireplace. So we're going to put the stone on the front of the fireplace. And I'm using that same weathered wood to add the stones to it. You could choose any color. I just thought that the grays would look nice on this. And this is almost like a charcoal gray. I always forget that I have this one. It also has a little bit of it feels like a little bit of a blue tint to it. So it's really pretty. This one is one that I don't reach for very often, but I do love the color of it. So now I'm using my Honeybee Bee Creative Glue to add the little piece on the bottom, and then we are going to get ready to stamp out some of the images that are going to be colored and hang from the fireplace. So I'm picking out a couple of the stockings as well as that swag that's on there. And I'm going to be stamping it onto this is a scrap piece of paper, so I'm really not going to be doing much layering. It's really just going to be one or two colors for this. It's not like the full Copic coloring. I'm inking it up in the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink because this is Copic safe, and I stamp that down, and then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to put it to the side to dry, and we're going to work on the mantelpiece. So instead of having it white like the shiplap, I wanted it to stand out a little bit, so I'm using a couple of Copic Ciao markers. So these are markers that I just got at most of them I got from Michael's when they did right after COVID hit, like when things started opening up again. Michael's did a purge of their Ciao markers, just like Hobby Lobby did a purge of the sketch markers. And I wish I had bought more during then because they were so inexpensive. I think these were 97 cents each, and I think they're about $6 now. So total win, but I did grab a bunch of them. So I'm just filling in the lines and making it look like wood. And then I'm using my Honeybee Bee Creative Glue again to add that to the top of the fireplace. So while I am coloring and assembling the rest of the pieces for the fireplace, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this series as well as the intro video. So if you guys have not checked out the intro video after this, please go check it out. There are rules in there about the giveaways and how that's going to work for this entire series. So I want to make sure that if you are interested and eligible, you go over and check it out. And I talk about everything in there, all the rules are in there. I'm working again on the collabs with some of my friends and getting all of that together. So I will have that in another video. But I'm very excited about this. If you are new to the Countdown to Christmas card series, welcome. It is 25-ish days of cards, and I will be posting every Friday and Monday, hopefully, as long as my schedule allows. And there will be new and old supplies used, mixing companies, doing quick and easy but still impactful cards that you can easily mass produce, as well as some more intricate ones that are maybe going to be your special cards for the people closest to you in your life when you send them out for the holidays. So there's going to be a lot of different things. Hopefully there's something for everyone. There's techniques. I'm going to be using Copic markers, watercolor pencils, distress inks, distress oxides. There are going to be some that are dye onlys. There's some that are going to be stamp onlys. I don't have a computer right now, so I can't do anything with the Cricut, but I am trying to get a computer. So in the process of looking for one. Hopefully before the end of the series, I'll be able to do a Cricut only one so that you can have a die cut machine, if you're interested in doing some last minute cards, and those are easy to mass produce. So lots of good stuff coming your way, lots of old and new products. And when I say old, some of the stuff I haven't even used yet. So while it may have come out a while ago, I may not have gotten around to it. So that's everything for the series. I hope that you guys check out the intro video so you can see what you have to do. And back to the card. So after the shiplap piece that we stenciled, I'm coming back to that because I want to have a wooden floor underneath of it. So I'm using this magnetic ruler and a micron pen to just add a couple of lines in there. And you really, when you're looking at it this way, you really don't see the difference between the shiplap and the pen marks. It's really difficult to see, but I can see it in person. And I'm just adding some lines where there would be the line between the two different boards of the hardwood floor. We're going to be using some Copic markers to go ahead and color these in, and micron pens are Copic safe pens. So when you're using your Copics, you want to make sure that you're using either a Copic marker, a micron pen, and I think there was one other one. There was like some kind of journaling pen, which they don't make anymore, that are Copic safe. You don't want to use just any pens because it will bleed with the alcohol in the markers. So I'm just adding those little lines there between the boards, making sure that I don't need to add any more anywhere else. And then we are going to move on to, I believe, the coloring of some of the rest of the pieces. So I am going to color in the stockings. This, again, I'm just coloring some of them red and green, some of them green. I just kind of I tried to mix it up a little bit. This is very, very basic coloring. I really don't do any shading here. I do use a couple different shades of red or green to fill these stockings in, but again, I'm not doing anything super fancy, no blending. This is very, very simple Copic coloring because one, this is not the thick paper. This is not the paper to go ahead and try to blend on. It was just a scrap piece of paper that I had lying around. So I am just going to go in and add a little bit of the lighter and the darker red to this stocking, and then move on to coloring the other stockings as well as the swag. So while you're watching me color in the rest of the images, I wanted to talk a little bit about the prizes that are going to be offered for this series. Just very quickly, there's not going to be a winner on every video. There's going to be random videos and I will pick a winner. I will put the final date to make comments on all of the videos on the last video that I do, trying to see how long it's going to take me to get through the whole series. And I will have the final date like I said, on that last video. And then I will also wait a couple weeks until probably about 2 weeks until I announce the winners, but I'll give you a closing date of all the comments on the videos, and then I will post the winners. So every winner will be announced at the same time. you have a chance to win the grand prize. And then I will just be picking random videos and random comments on those videos. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason to the video or the commenter. So it's just kind of totally random. So I want everyone to have kind of a fair chance for it. So make sure you head over again to the intro video. So the prizes for the winners will be stamps from some of my favorite companies. They are stamps that I've either purchased duplicates of or I've purchased recently with the intent of giving them as part of a giveaway. So some of them will be used in the video series. There'll be others that are not Christmas related. I do have a couple of Halloween, I think some Halloween ones. I have some everyday use ones. The companies that they will be from are, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know what companies they'll be from because they are some of my favorite companies. So again, make sure you head over to that, the intro video to check that out. So now I'm going in with some of those Copic Ciao markers and just coloring in different planks. My floor upstairs has a huge variation in the colors of brown on there, and I kind of wanted to make it look like that. That is what is in the craft room, and it is what's on my entire third floor of the house. So I wanted it to kind of look like that. I was inspired by that floor to go ahead and color the floor the exact same way. So once I had all of the colors down, I went back in with some darker colors and added some shading in. And then once that's done, I'm going to go back in with the darkest color and add the darkest areas to the floor to give it that depth and dimension and really be able to see the difference between the different planks on the floor. The floor is not the main focal point of the card, so I didn't have to go back in and put that many details in. And this is paper that's a little bit thicker. It's thicker than the paper that I colored the stockings on, so it was able to take the Copic markers, but it's not the great Copic paper to use, so I wouldn't put too much on there. So now I'm going and assembling the fireplace. So I'm just dry fitting the pieces for the fireplace to see how it's going to look. And then we're going to use the Honeybee Be Creative glue to go ahead and attach the fireplace to the front panel of the card. I'm going to just have the bottom sit right on the line between the floor and the shiplap. And I am going to look and see where the fire needs to go. I wasn't really sure. I'm going to put the interior pieces together. You don't have to use the interior pieces. You can completely just put the fire in there. So there is a right way and a wrong way to put those two black pieces together. And when I glue it down, you'll notice that I did something wrong. So just make sure that you are careful when you're gluing those together. I think I glued something upside down. Now I'm going back in with my brush and whatever weathered wood was on the back of it, because you are going to be able to see a little bit of that shiplap behind it. I wanted to make it dark because if you look into a fireplace, the back is going to be black or very dark, so a dark gray. So I wanted there to just be a dark color behind it and not those shiplap lines. So I think it looks good when you finally put it all together. And I think that's where I turned that piece upside down when I put that back. I turned it the wrong way. So I'm just gluing the fire down into the place where I think it should go. And then again, checking to see where those pieces go. And then this is, there. It looks like it works, but I think that, again, I did put it in upside down because there's a gap on one side and then the other side seems a little too close together. So just make sure that you are aware of it, that I think there is a right and a wrong way to put this piece in, so just be careful doing that. So it's the first time I've ever used this die set, so I will be very well aware of it the next time that I use it. Just trying to fit the pieces into place, and this is where I realized that it may not be right. Off camera, I had fussy cut out the swag as well as the stockings that I wanted to go on top of the mantle. However, if I had thought about it, I really would have stamped the sentiment before I started gluing these on, because I believe that I used foam tape for the stockings to make them stand off of the swag, and I couldn't use my Misty or my Stamp Perfect at that point because that layer was too high and it wouldn't have stamped properly. So if I had to do it over again, I would have stamped first before I put the stockings on. Even though I just use one layer of foam for these guys, it still gives a little bit too much dimension, and I wouldn't have been able to stamp on there without using a stamping block. Oh, after I have put all of the foam tape on the back of all the stockings, I'm going to get ready to add a little bit of sparkle, because you know me, everything has to have a little bit of sparkle and shine. So I am going to take my pen from Lawn Fawn, and I don't know exactly what it's called. I apologize. I always forget this, but it puts out a little bead of glue with some, it's like glue with some sparkles in it, and it makes it sparkle and shine. So added that to the bows just to make it look a little different. And then I added it to a couple of parts for some of the stockings. I just, again, wanted to give it a little bit of sparkle and shine, because all of my cards pretty much have to have that. And then once I finish that, I'm going in with my Spectrum Noir pen to put a little bit of sparkle onto the flame. Off camera, I stamped the home word from that home stamp set from Honeybee Stamps. And now I'm going to get ready to emboss a small sentiment strip on black cardstock with the For the Holidays sentiment. I inked it up using some Hero Arts little ink cube. It has the embossing ink on it, and I'm using some white embossing powder from Martha Stewart. It's about 10 years old. I'm going to wipe off any of the excess white powder that got onto the black cardstock so that when I heat emboss it, it's a nice clean, crisp image. I'm going to use my Wagner heat tool to heat that up, and then I'm going to use my Fiskars trimming tool to trim out that little sentiment, and then we're going to pop that up onto foam tape. So the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to get ready to attach it to a card base. And that is the card for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy this series, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Bye!